Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Rob Squad and the Creators. As always, we're pumped to be in studio with these amazing guests, but you are here with your boy Jay.
Hey y'all, you're also here with your girl Amber. And when our friend and channel music guru TimSommer spent some time with the brilliant MIDGE UR'S, not only did Midge react to our reactions of Vienna by Ultravox and Fade to Grey by Visage, but he also talked about an incredible 4-year period where he was in 5. That's right, guys. 5 bands. So check out this edition of Inside the Reaction. Midge and Tim, the floor is yours.
When we are young, time moves very, very fast. And when you realize that within a very short space of time, you were in a, quote, boy band, and that's simplifying things, but we'll use that term for now. You were in Slik. You were in the Rich Kids.
Just like boys of princess and towers, they're the soft boys. And
You were with Visage.
we fade to grey. We fade to grey.
You were in Thin Lizzy.
Waiting for an alibi, waiting for an alibi, just to catch your eye. Waiting for an alibi, waiting for an alibi. Say I told you.
And you were in Ultravox.
The image is gone over you, and now it means nothing to me. This means nothing to me. Oh, Vienna.
All probably within a 3 or 4 year period, maybe even less. Time moved very fast. Does it seem remarkable to you that you did all of those things, went through all of those diverse projects in such a short span of time?
Well, I think if you look at it in hindsight, yes, it looks ridiculous. You know, or if you write it on a piece of paper, on a graph, or on a timeline, it looks ridiculous. You know, I'm not comparing myself to, but you have to think that the Beatles went from "She Loves You" to "Sergeant Pepper" in the same kind of period.
She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. It was 20 years ago today. Sergeant Pepper taught the band to play.
It seems 3 or 4 years. It was a meteoric rise and progression in the music. You know, as you say, I was quite rightly. I started in a fairly well-known band in Scotland at the time, but became commercially successful in a pop band and a boy band. I mean, you were talking about Woody from the Bay City Rollers earlier. The song that made us famous was basically a Bay City Rollers song written and produced by the same people. And once you're tarred with that brush, you're never allowed to grow up from it.
Right.
You're never allowed to move away from it. You're forever shackled to that moment. And I was very fortunate. You know, I thought I was finished with Slik. You know, the new wave had come along, and we were old school. We were, the teeny bop pin-up boys. And I got a phone call from Glenn Matlock, ex-Sex Pistol, who had spoken to a music journalist for the Melody Maker, one of the big music papers over here in the UK, and she had suggested that I was the guy that he needed for his band. So I had a lifeline thrown to me. So I moved to London and joined the Rich Kids, and in the middle of all this new wave thing, and it was just incredible. But then within a year, I bought a synthesizer, which kind of changed everything.
Now, was Glenn Matlock aware that you had been, and I'm still a little iffy on the actual story, that you had been approached to be in the Sex Pistols?
Anarchy for the UK is coming sometime. Maybe I give a wrong time. Stop a traffic line. Your future dream is a shopping spree. 'Cause I
Glenn aware with that? And what exactly is that story? I've heard a lot of different versions of it.
Yeah, pre Slik having the the number one record in the UK, I was stopped in the streets of Glasgow by a guy called Bernie Rhodes, who went on to become the manager of the Clash, and he asked me to speak to his friend round the corner about musical instruments or something. I think he obviously sussed that I maybe, because I didn't look like everyone else at the time, that I may have been a musician.
Right.
So I spoke to his friend, who was Malcolm McLaren, who told me about his New York Dolls Association and, Vivienne Westwood and the shop that they had and the clothes they were designing. And he said, I'm putting a band together. Do you want to join? And I said, well, you haven't asked what I do. You don't even know I'm a musician. You stopped me because of how I looked. So I turned it down. And the truth is that they were actually in Glasgow, in Scotland, where, my hometown, because they had they had some slightly hot equipment in the boot of the car in the back. So I didn't join the Pistols, but I bought an amplifier. So weirdly, within a year or so of turning the Pistols down, there I was being offered the chance of coming to London to join the Rich Kids with the original bass player.
Now, you went from Thin Lizzy, who you were in for about a year, more or less. Is that right? Or
I had the chronological order was that I bought a synthesizer of the Rich Kids, which immediately killed the band. Half the band hated it. But half the band who liked it came up with the concept of Visage. That was Rusty
Right.
Egan, the drummer, and myself. And we came up with Visage and put together this combination of great musicians, including Billy Currie, keyboard player from Ultravox.
right.
So we saw Ultravox as they were then go off to America and come back a broken band, to be dropped by the record label and all of that stuff. And it was through that collaboration on the Visage project I ended up joining Ultravox. But no one was interested when I joined Ultravox. Yeah, as I said before, everyone considered us dead and gone. And although we'd started writing the Vienna album, it was then I got the phone call from Philip Lynott at Thin Lizzy saying they were in Arkansas and the guitarist had walked out the band or been thrown out. I never got to the bottom of the story. Could I come out the next day and finish the tour? They were special guests for Journey. So they were playing big, big domes, big Astrodome things. And I did that for 2 or 3 weeks. And eventually they asked me to go and do the Japanese tour and the Irish tour and a few other things. But going back to Ultravox all the time, Ultravox is my band.
Okay.
I was absolutely committed to Ultravox at that point.
The feeling is gone, only you and I. It means nothing to me. This means nothing to me. Oh, Vienna. The music is weaving. Haunting notes, pizzicato strings, the rhythm is calling. Alone in the night as the daylight brings a cool empty silence. The warmth of your hand and a cold grey sky, it fades to the distance. The image is gone, only you and I. It means nothing to me. This means nothing to me. Oh, Vienna.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. As we always send you out of here, we love you, we thank you, we appreciate you. And remember, every day that you guys wake up, it is a blessing and that you are blessed. And for your new family members, to hit that subscribe button down below. We welcome y'all to the RSR family, but you have a goal every day, just like we do. Let them know.
Let's go out in this world today, y'all, and let's just make somebody smile.
We love y'all. Till next time. See you guys later.